There's a moment you keep going back to. Maybe it's something you said, and the second it left your mouth you knew. Maybe it's the way someone looked at you. Maybe it's a message you sent that nobody ever answered. You know which one it is. It arrived while I was still listing them. Now do this. Work out what year it happened. Not how long ago it feels. What year? Then notice that the year sounds old, and the moment doesn't. Those two answers don't match, and they should. There's a reason for that. A specific one. And it isn't the reason you've been giving yourself. Because you already have an explanation. You think it stays close because it was that bad. That a big thing casts a long shadow, and that's just physics. Or, and this is the more common one, you think something is wrong with you. That other people move on and you don't. That you're too sensitive. That you hold things too tightly. That you never learned how to let go. Notice how much of your energy goes into that second explanation. Not into the memory. Into being disappointed in yourself for still having it. That explanation is wrong. And it is costing you more than the memory is. Here's what's really happening. Your mind doesn't file things by date. It files them by how often you touch them. Something you haven't thought about in years drifts to the back. Not deleted. Just far away, and hard to reach. But something you return to keeps getting handled. And every time you handle it, your mind moves it forward again. To the front. Where the recent things are kept. So that moment isn't close because it was severe. It's close because you've been visiting. Every replay is a small act of maintenance. You aren't reliving it. You are renewing it. And you have kept it in perfect condition, for years, without ever deciding to. Once you see that, something else clicks into place, something that has probably bothered you for a long time. The good years vanish. That one bad moment never moves. Think about a year that was genuinely fine. Nothing dramatic. Work, routine, ordinary weeks. Try to find it now. You can barely locate it. It's a blur with 3 photographs in it. Now think about the worst 10 minutes of your life. You can find those instantly. You know what the room looked like. You know what was said, and in what order. You might know what you were wearing. That feels like a cruel joke. It isn't. It's the same rule running in both directions. The good year got no maintenance, so it faded. The bad 10 minutes got maintenance every week for years, so it stayed sharp. Your mind isn't punishing you. It's keeping what you keep asking it to keep. So why do you keep going back? Not because you enjoy it. Nobody enjoys it. You go back because some part of you is still trying to finish it. You're looking for the sentence you should have said. The moment you could have handled differently. The version where you come out of it intact. You run it again hoping that this time, it lands somewhere. It can't. It already happened. The ending is fixed. There is nothing left in there to find. So you don't come out with a solution. You come out having renewed the file. And here's the trap, it feels productive. It feels like you're working on it. That's exactly why it's so hard to stop. It disguises itself as processing. Which brings us to what everyone tells you. Let it go. Stop thinking about it. Don't dwell. That fails for one simple reason. You cannot decide not to think about something. Trying to block a thought is another way of holding it. Both versions of the advice assume the problem is happening inside your head. That is exactly where it has always been happening. And that is the whole issue. Here's what actually works. And it's smaller than you'd expect. Say it out loud. To one person. Not the whole story. Not a confession. One sentence, to someone who is physically in the room. And because one sentence is easy to say and hard to do, here is the sentence. Not this, I had a rough time back then, but I'm fine. This, there's something that happened years ago and I still think about it. I've never told anyone. That's it. 20 words. You don't have to explain what it was. You don't have to be ready. The rest of the conversation will take care of itself, and if it doesn't, you've still done the thing. Because here is why that changes something 1,000 private replays didn't. In your head, the memory never has to be finished. It has no shape. It loops with no beginning and no end, and it can stay like that forever. Out loud, it has to become a sentence. It needs an order. A start. A stop. It has to exist in one room, at one time, with someone else's face in it. And the moment it becomes that, it becomes a thing that happened. Which is a completely different object from a thing that is happening. I want to be careful here, because some things are heavier than a conversation with a friend. If what you keep returning to is something that genuinely harmed you, this is not a replacement for real help. Saying it out loud to someone trained to hear it is the same principle, the mechanism doesn't change. Only the room does. But for the ordinary ones, the humiliation, the thing you said wrong, the way someone looked at you, the version of yourself you cannot stop cringing at, one honest sentence to one person does more than 6 years of private review. You already know it doesn't work in there. You've been trying. So here's the whole thing. That moment is not close because it was terrible. It's close because you have been keeping it close, and you never once chose to. You have spent years maintaining it. Cleaning it. Keeping it ready. You don't have to destroy it. You just have to stop doing the maintenance. And the way you stop is not by forcing yourself to forget. It's by finally letting it out of your head and into a room. It will arrive again. It always does. When it does, you don't have to sit through the replay. One sentence. Out loud. To a person. Today.